What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I want to talk about Dragon Ball Z Super Extreme Butoden and give you my overall thoughts and review of the game. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to break it down into 3 parts. Part 1 is going to discuss the roster, Part 2 is going to discuss the gameplay and mechanics, and then Part 3 is going to discuss the features available in the game. So without further ado, let's talk about this game. And by the way, in case you don't know anything about this, the game you see in the background is Super Extreme Butoden. It's coming out on October 20th, and it's being made by the same people who gave us Guilty Gears and Blaze Blue. So big shout to Arc System Works. But as far as the character roster, let's start here first. So this game actually boasts over 100 characters, which sounds pretty enticing when you're a DBZ fan. However, there's one thing that they don't say is that not every character is playable. Of those 100, only 25 are actually playable, and they include people like Goku, Future Trunks, Beerus, Super Saiyan God Goku, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku, you know, like the major characters. And everybody else is a support character, and the way they work is if you press a button on the screen, they'll jump in to do an attack or some kind of action and then leave. So it's not really playable, they just kind of pop in when you need them. So some characters that they include as assist characters are Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Golden Frieza, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. A lot of what seem to be major characters are actually support characters, and I kind of find that weird. But then again, at least every playable character is kind of fun to use, so at least there's that. But still, there's a lot of characters that I wish would have been playable rather than assist characters, and that's kind of something that kind of turns me out from the game a little bit. But still, you know, it is what it is. But now, let's talk about the gameplay, because obviously gameplay is the most important part, and the game is a lot of fun. Then the character roster isn't that much of an issue. And is it fun is the question. And I will actually admit, the game is a lot of fun. I definitely enjoy playing it. However, there's one major factor that kind of holds the game back, and I will talk about that later because it's one of the features. But as far as gameplay, it's pretty easy to pick up. Every character plays exactly the same. It reminds me a lot of Budokai, actually, because the input controls consist of stuff like why, punch. Like, you know, it reminds me of like the old days where you do punch, key, and do a key blast move in Budokai. Well, this game kind of is just like that, where it's pretty simple inputs. Every character has 3 unique abilities as well as an ultimate attack. So, for example, if you use Goku, if I press L and then if I hold L and press like Y, A, or X, you know, it'll do stuff like Kamehameha, Kaioken, etc. Like every character has 3 unique moves, and then based on if you're in the air or in the sky, if you do the ultimate inputs, you'll do a form of ultimate attack. So every character essentially has 2 ultimates. Using Beerus as an example, actually let's use Goku as an example. So Goku, if he's on the ground and does the ultimate move, he'll do a Kamehameha. If he's in the air, he'll do a Spirit Bomb. So based on where you actually are is what chooses the ultimate move, which is kind of weird, but it works pretty well in that game. So as far as that, it's preting easy to play and pick up. Something I want to point out is there are some advanced moves in the game, stuff like being able to snap vanish and kind of do combos and stuff. That's a cool thing that you actually kind of have to learn. It's easy to pick up, but you have to learn. So that gets a thumbs up. So definitely a yes on the gameplay factor. It's a lot of fun, and I feel like a lot of people will definitely enjoy when they pick it up, even though it's not exactly a 3D fighter like Xenoverse, Raging Blast, and Takeshi. But definitely if you play the Budokai games and enjoy those more, Burst Limit, you will definitely probably like this game a lot more than those who prefer the 3D fighters. Personally, like I said, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. But there's one thing that really holds this game back, and I'll talk about that in a couple seconds. So that's a complete breakdown on gameplay and mechanics. As far as the features, again, this is going to be the part that's going to be the deciding factor for a lot of people. Story mode. It kind of lacks a story mode, actually. The way story mode works is when you go into story mode, it has, I believe, like 10 characters, and it consists of like Goku, Krillin, Piccolo, Vegeta, and then villains, stuff like that. And the way it works is when you pick that character, you play through that character throughout the game. So, for example, if you do Goku, your first fight is against Raditz, your second fight is against like Nappa, Vegeta. It kind of goes down the list. It basically plays as you know, the character that that person faced throughout the series. And then once you beat it, you can go back and do a story mode once again and play as a different character. And the way that works again is it goes down to story mode, through the sagas. And again, you play as that character and you face off who that person fought in the series. So with Krillin, for example, you will face like Nappa, you will go to Namek, you fight Vegeta. Basically, you face off all those people that they fought throughout the series. So it's kind of repetitive, I'll say that. And on top of that, there's no real visuals there. So it's not really a fun story mode DBZ game, I'll say that. I mean, what do you expect? It's for 3DS. If this was on the PS4, we would get visuals, but it's no real visuals. It's just kind of like text, and then you fight. So as far as story mode, very repetitive. For the next mode I want to discuss, and this is probably my favorite mode, tournament mode. Tournament mode was a lot of fun, only because it was very, very challenging. And I don't know if they purposely boosted the CPU to be very, really tough, but it was actually very challenging to play tournament mode over and over again. That's actually what I had to play to get better at the game. So I spent a lot of time in that. However, I do want to point out that tournament mode felt very repetitive because it wasn't randomized characters. It always played the same. You start off fighting against, I think, Android 18 and Krillin. You fight Ginyu, and then Broly shows up. It's kind of very much the same characters every single time, versus previously in other DBZ games where if you do tournament mode, it always kind of randomizes which characters jump in, and then you fight them, as they pop in a match. But tournament mode in this game was always the same to me, and I don't know if that's just the game that I had or if that's how it is for everybody, but that's just how much for me, and that kind of turned me off. But it was still a lot of fun, but it's not as fun as it could be. Now, the big thing about this game is there's no online mode. And I know this is the one thing, like I said, it's going to turn a lot of people off. If there was an online mode, I could see a lot of people get really excited in this game and get really good at it, go back and forth and just have these all sorts of crazy wars. However, there is no online mode, and because of that, that's the one factor that's kind of holding this game back from the success that it could possibly have when it comes out. There is local play, so if you have a friend who has a 3DS and also has a copy of the game, you guys can get in the same room and have all sorts of wars and matches, and that can be a lot of fun. But as far as finding that one friend you have across the world, there's no way to do it. So because of that, that's the one factor that kind of held the game back from me, and I'm sure it's going to hold the game back for a lot of you guys. So it's up to you guys. I mean, it's fun, it's great. If I had some friends around me who also had a game who could come fight me, I would love to do that. However, because there's no online mode, there's just no way to do it, and then you're just kind of stuck fighting basically tournament mode over and over again, because battle mode is a little easy and story mode gets repetitive. So because of that, you're just kind of limited to how much you can actually really play this game. Now, if they do Super Extreme Butoden 2 or the next rendition of the game, if they have online mode, I think it could be a game changer. It could be a lot of fun, but because there's no online mode in this one, it's a meh factor for me, honestly. Like I said, it's fun, but you're just limited with what you can do, and because of that, that's going to hold a lot of people back from the game. And it's kind of like, I don't know what to say about that, honestly. So it's up to you guys. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, who plans on getting the game? Let me know in the comment section below, and we'll just take it from there. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick breakdown. Like I said, I enjoyed it. You can only do so much, and you can only play tournament mode so many times the same way before you just kind of like, I just don't feel like playing anymore. So yeah. Again, the demo comes out actually on Thursday, August 6th. At 9 a.m. So if you want to download it yourself, go for it. You can get an eShop for free, and give it a shot, I guess. Honestly, just give it a shot and let me know your thoughts. So yeah. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think of my review. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, drop me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Rhymestyle, and I'll see all y'all in Super Sandwiches in the comment section below. Peace.